Home, I've been definitely blessed with the opportunity to, link up with a lot of
Amir Junaid Mahadith, who was known in the music industry as Loon. He was one of the most promising voices under Diddy's Bad Boy records, standing shoulder to shoulder with hip-hop legends. During the label's peak, Loon had everything fame. Flashy videos, hit singles like I Need a Girl, and a spot right next to Diddy himself. But things didn't stay glamorous for long. Loon suddenly vanished from the spotlight. And it wasn't until years later that people found out he had not only left the music business, but also turned to Islam and changed his entire lifestyle. That sudden shift didn't come from nowhere. It was rooted in a deep disappointment with the industry, his experience with Diddy, and the dark underbelly of Bad Boy Records. And now, with Diddy buried in lawsuits and facing a possible RICO case, Loon's name is back in the headlines, this time as a possible key witness in what could be the most explosive legal case in hip-hop history. After leaving the rap scene, Loon found peace in Islam and moved away from the fast life. But before that, he had already spent years in the middle of Diddy's empire. Witnessing what went on behind closed doors, he knew the energy behind those glamorous parties. He saw who was getting protected, and he felt what it meant to be used and then discarded. When Loon was arrested and sentenced to 14 years in prison for a conspiracy charge tied to drug trafficking, Diddy was nowhere to be found. No calls, no support, no statement. The same man who once stood beside him on stage didn't show up when it really counted. That betrayal hit hard. But what made it worse is that Loon realized he wasn't the only one. Many people around Diddy had the same story: used, silenced, thrown away. So now, federal investigators are turning to Loon in the RICO case against Diddy. And it makes perfect sense. RICO charges are all about building a case that someone wasn't just doing something illegal once or twice, but running an entire system, like a criminal enterprise. You need insiders who were there for the long haul, people who saw the patterns, who knew who was doing what and how it was all being covered up. Loon fits that profile perfectly. He wasn't just another rapper on the label. He was part of the inner circle during Bad Boy's wildest years, when things looked polished on camera but were allegedly messy and dangerous behind the scenes. What makes this even more powerful is that Loon isn't doing this for fame. This isn't about clout or getting attention. If anything, Loon's life has been about stepping away from attention. After converting to Islam and moving overseas, he only popped back up a few times, most recently in a few interviews and some social media posts. After being released from prison in 2020, he wasn't angry, he wasn't loud. He spoke about growth, peace, and leaving the past behind. But all of that changed when the lawsuits against Diddy started piling up. Women coming forward with serious allegations, former employees talking about rituals, strange behavior, and intimidation, and now potential connections to deeper and darker activity that's far beyond typical music industry drama. It was only a matter of time before people looked to Loon and wondered what he really saw, because Loon wasn't just any bad boy artist. He was trusted. He was present during key moments. He toured the world, sat in boardrooms, recorded in the studios, and had conversations behind the curtain. If anyone knows how Bad Boy operated in the shadows, it's him. And now, the whispers are getting louder. Sources close to the federal case are saying Loon has been quietly cooperating. He's not posting about it online. He's not
I'm one
doing
of the
tell-all
people
interviews.
that are,
He's allegedly
bidding
giving
and looking at
prosecutors the
it.
kind of details only someone like him could provide. How money was moved, who controlled what, and how Diddy allegedly avoided blame while others around him took the fall. The reason this matters so much is because RICO isn't about one crime, it's about patterns. It's about proving that a business
album, we invented the remix, you know what I'm saying, platinum, debut #1. We got my man Loon coming up next.
How'd it feel, Loon? You went out there and did your thing. You was received very well. A lot of cats out there from the tri-state.
Yeah. I mean, it's my first summer jam, you know what I'm saying?
And like being right next to one of the greatest entertainers, my man P. Diddy and Busta Rhymes.
In this case, a record label was being used as a front for illegal activity, and to prove that, you need stories that connect the dots. Loon could be that missing piece, and honestly, it makes sense that Loon would step up now, not out of hate, but out of moral responsibility. Loon's journey through Islam changed him. It's clear in every interview he's done since coming home. He speaks about accountability, righteousness, and not letting the wrong go unchecked. When he saw the recent claims about Diddy, not just about abuse, but about alleged satanic rituals, manipulation, and deeper forms of spiritual corruption, it seems like something inside him clicked. Enough was enough, and he's not the only one speaking like this. one of Diddy's former bodyguards, Gene Deal, has come out saying things that sound like something out of a horror movie priest rubbing oil on Diddy's head, birds being sacrificed, rooms being set up for strange rituals. At first, people brushed it off as wild stories. But the more you listen, the more the pieces fall into place. The claims aren't just coming from one person, they're lining up across different witnesses, across years of silence finally breaking. And Loon, who once tried to forgive and forget, now finds himself in a position where staying quiet might mean being complicit. What's really telling is that after all these years, Diddy still hasn't responded to Loon's past criticisms. No apology, no accountability, no acknowledgement. And now that the pressure is on from federal agents,
is one artist hoping to change the lyrics and message of rap following his own religious conversion. Loon was part of P. Diddy's Bad Boy Records. He accepted Islam in 2008 on a tour in Dubai.
Diddy's legal team is scrambling. His attorney even filed to be removed from the case, citing conflicts and inability to continue. That move alone says a lot. Lawyers don't just abandon ship unless the waters are rising fast. And with Loon possibly being one of the next big names to confirm the chaos behind the curtain, that storm is only going to get worse. It's also important to remember that when Loon was first locked up, the charges were questionable. He wasn't caught in action. He wasn't filmed or recorded. His name was tied to a case involving people he knew. That's why so many believe he took the fall for someone else. That someone, according to many rumors, could be Diddy himself. That's how these criminal enterprises usually work. The people at the top rarely get their hands dirty. They use others to take the heat. And now, Loon seems ready to speak about how that whole structure was set up. And let's be clear, this is not the same industry Loon left back in the day. People are not staying silent anymore. Social media changed everything. Cancel culture is real. Victims are speaking up, and law enforcement is watching. Diddy may have dodged bullets before, but now that the RICO case is coming together,
I'm one of the
every
people
single piece
that
of
are,
the puzzle matters.
bidding
If Loon
and looking
decides
at
to go
it.
fully public with what he knows, it could not only expose Diddy's operation, but reshape how we view the last 2 decades of hip-hop history. Because behind the music, behind the platinum records and the flashy videos, was a business built on power, control, and silence. That silence is now being broken. And Loon's voice might be the loudest yet. His story isn't just about betrayal. It's about someone who found peace, who tried to walk away, who tried to forgive, and who now realizes that telling the truth is the only way forward. And that truth may finally expose the empire Diddy built not just with music, but with manipulation. Loon might be the key to it all. So, what exactly could Loon reveal? For starters, he could give insight into how artists were signed and controlled, how money moved through the company, and how Diddy allegedly insulated himself from risk by surrounding himself with disposable associates, people who could take the fall for crimes or shady deals, while Diddy remained untouched. Loon was never charged during his time with Bad Boy, but his 2011 arrest on conspiracy charges related to drug trafficking, which led to a 14-year sentence, was widely believed to have been connected more to his past associations than any actual actions. Even back then, many felt Loon was being used as a scapegoat, someone the system could grab, even if he wasn't the main player. And that's the key word here, scapegoat. In a recent interview, Loon talked about how Diddy used people around him to absorb the heat. If something went wrong, if law enforcement got too close, there was always someone else who would take the hit, whether it was bodyguards, producers, assistants, or artists. Diddy kept his hands clean, and now, with dozens of allegations mounting from sexual misconduct and trafficking to financial crimes, federal agents are trying to expose how he did it. Loon, having lived through the exact mechanisms of control and silence, is reportedly confirming what others have hinted at, that Bad Boy wasn't just a label. It was a machine built on manipulation, threats, and fear. The darkest parts of this story are the rumors that have swirled for years but were never fully confirmed. Rituals, animal sacrifices, secret parties, people going missing. These used to be written off as urban legends. But when Diddy's former bodyguard and other insiders began confirming the unthinkable, everything changed. There's the now infamous story of a priest-like figure performing a ritual with oil.
I'm one of the people that are, bidding and looking at it.
Protection. These claims were always dismissed as conspiracy, until multiple former employees began saying the same thing, often in chilling detail. Loon, who left the industry after such events, always refused to speak on them publicly. But now federal Pressure and his personal conscience may be pushing him to finally share everything he witnessed. What he saw, who was there, how these rituals were arranged, and what they were allegedly meant to protect. This could change the entire trajectory of the RICO case.